What's good, YouTube? It's Nas and we back with another video. Road to 900 subscribers, of course. While you're seeing this, I'm on the train going back home, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I feel like every season we underrate the Minnesota Timberwolves. I feel like we always think that they're not going to be as good as they seem. And I really made a text to my friend the other day talking about every other game, I'm confused with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I don't know whether they're a contender or they're just a playoff team. And what I mean by that is sometimes they have some great wins against competent teams, and then other times they're in close games with mid or decent teams. And I'm just wondering what's wrong with that. But about Anthony Edwards being one of the best players in the league, in which I remember a couple weeks ago, or even like last week or 2 weeks ago, Kate Cunningham had an article told him about how he's the best American player on the planet right now. And I honestly said, what? Does Anthony Edwards not exist? And I feel like Ant has basically backed up that sentiment, in which I feel like Anthony Edwards every single season proves himself. And every single season the NBA wants him to be the face of the league, and he just doesn't want to be that. And I'm completely fine with that. If Anthony Edwards keeps hooping like this, and obviously all the funny moments and all that, and they're going to make a way to find him to be the face of the league. But anyway, talking about basketball, in which a season where the Minnesota Timberwolves, I felt like we're missing a primary ball handler to take the pressures off Ant. Ant has just expanded his game even more, in which a season where obviously the West is the hardest seed to get out. Let's say that. In which I feel like all 3 through 6, or even 7, including the Phoenix Suns, are fighting not to be a playing spot, or fighting for positioning right now. In which I'd see at the end of the season where everybody needs to play their best basketball, Anthony Edwards has really turned it up a notch. In which a season where honestly not a lot of expectations were on the Minnesota Timberwolves, where they've made the conference, or let's not say this because I just sounded retarded just now. A season where they're coming off 2 conference finals appearances where nobody expected them to be up to the conference finals, in which another season where they're not expecting anything out of the Minnesota Timberwolves, with honestly the Denver Nuggets, the San Antonio Spurs, the Oklahoma City Thunder. It just seems like the Minnesota Timberwolves are just not in there, in which I feel like Anthony Edwards having his best season right now and not even in top 5 in MVP voting just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, this season, Anthony Edwards is averaging 29.5 points per game, 5 rebounds and 3.5 assists, shooting 49.5% from the field and 40% from the 3. So the efficiency is up all across the boards from all of his previous seasons, in which I feel like he was already a good player, but it seems like he's taking it to a whole nother level this season. Like, him being a 40% 3-point shooter is elite, because we know downhill there's not really a way to stop Anthony Edwards. And when he's shooting his step back threes, when he's shooting his moving threes, and the bitches is going in at a 40% clip, like, I feel like it gets real dangerous in the Western Conference. And I feel like there's not really any criticism that I can really give to Anthony Edwards. I feel like when Anthony Edwards is on, he's the most consistent player in the league. But at the same time, where you have these sometimes difficult shots, and then you got his coach even saying, Ant, pass the ball. And then you see Ant hit that tough fadeaway on Derrick Jones Jr. and Kendrick Dunn, and he yelled at Chris Finch, "That's what I do, Finch. That's what the fuck I do." And that shit just got me hyped, that game, in which honestly Anthony Edwards just looks like the best player on the planet sometimes, in which sometimes when he's having an off night it looks bad, but he still finds a way to get 20 points. It still impacts his team, in which the Minnesota Timberwolves, I feel like they'll live with Anthony Edwards taking all the bad shots in the world. Like, where they mess up at is when Julius Randle puts it beside himself and does an isolation for a play, which makes absolutely no sense. But not even getting on Julius Randle's head, and which the starting 5 with Dante, Ant, McDaniels, Randle, and Gobert, as you see on your screen, have an offensive rating of 123.5 and a defensive rating of 113, with a positive net rating of +10. And even with Ant off the floor, like, this is a really good team. Like, I feel like every season we underrate the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they're in the playoff hunt every single time. Yes, we underrate them, but at the same time, with them being in the playoff hunt, it's really hard to underrate them. Maybe I said the same thing twice. If you get it, you get it. I don't know what I just said. But when you look at Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, I come to the conclusion every single game I watch them. I'm like, yeah, they are a contender. Yeah, they should be in the hunt for the championship. They should be in that conversation with the Thunder, with the Spurs, with the Pistons, with the Celtics, with Jason Tatum back. But they should be in that conversation. Why aren't they? And then sometimes I'm reminded with games where they blow the lead, where they honestly are down 20 sometimes, when everybody's not playing good, when Jaden McDaniels has a 6-point game. Like, I'm just reminded, like, yeah, that's why they're not a contending team. But when they look the part and when they're playing their best basketball, I'm like, they could beat anybody. Why aren't we talking about the Minnesota Timberwolves more? We should be talking about Anthony Edwards, one of the most exciting players in the league, him carrying this team. Why aren't we doing that? And then, honestly, like I said, but I don't know. I really do have high expectations for the Minnesota Timberwolves this season. I do not think, let's see, like, I feel like they probably are the Denver Nuggets kryptonite, because every time they seem to play, they win, I feel like. But the Houston Rockets, I don't think the Rockets are a better team than the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Denver Nuggets, that's when I get shaky a little bit. They're the 5th seed. The Lakers are the 6th seed. I do think the Timberwolves are better than the Lakers right now. And right now, it would be Lakers versus Timberwolves again, which probably will be another first action for the Lakers if the standings stay the same. But I'm interested to see how how the Minnesota Timberwolves finish off this season. And I probably put another screenshot of Ant's impact numbers when he's on and off the floor. So they are a good team without him. Like, they're not one of those teams where drop off when their superstar player comes out the game. They find a way to stay afloat. They have their offense still. They have their defense. They actually become an even better defensive team when Anthony Edwards is off the floor, and which I feel like sometimes we overrate Anthony Edwards' two-way ability, but Anthony Edwards can get in the stance and lock you down. That's something that Anthony Edwards can do at an elite level, but I don't know. I feel like sometimes we forget about the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then sometimes we're reminded why the Minnesota Timberwolves are in that conversation and what they're actually missing. But I don't know. I'm recording 2 videos. Yeah, I probably saw, if you're watching this, I hope you watched that Jason Tatum video I put up yesterday. Y'all gonna see a click on button to this at the end of the video. But I don't know, maybe I'm high on Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves because I'm just an Anthony Edwards fan, and I love watching Ant play basketball when he's on. And I like Jaden McDaniels too. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about the Minnesota Timberwolves down below. Do y'all believe that they are a true contender? Do y'all believe that they're a playoff team? Or do y'all think they're just a tough out? Let me know down below. Subscribe. What's good, y'all? If y'all made it to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And there's a video right here. I'm pretty sure you're going to like it if you like this one. And the channel icon's right there if you want to just check out the channel in general. And yeah, leave a like too, because it really helps the algorithm push me out. And yeah, I appreciate y'all for watching this video nonetheless.